When we come home from a long day of teaching kids or laying pipe, we find a long list of responsibilities just waiting for us at home, like wrangling our kids or taking them to their activities, cooking a meal, doing the laundry, or just picking up everyone else's shit.
And how did we decide to use the minute amount of free time that we actually do have? We gave ourselves yet another job and we started a podcast.
We wanted a space where we could talk about the things we love, such as sports, movies, music, and our families.
And we also wanted a place to vent about the things that bother us, like our coworkers, or if our favorite team missed the playoffs in the last game of the season, or if McDonald's decides that they don't have any large lids, even though they're a huge company that should never have that problem. You know, when I think of the dynamic of our podcast, I think of myself as like the tough power forward like Owen Nolan, where you kind of remind me of a speed finesse type player like Patrick Marleau.
I see what you're saying. When I look at our dynamic on the podcast, I see myself like Thierry Henry, smooth like butter on the pitch, ready to score that goal. And I see you like Zinedine Zidane, ready to headbutt any asshole that gets in your way. We talk about these topics and so much more on Level the Playing Field. Check us out wherever you listen to podcasts.
Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the first ever Shooter and Hooters podcast. It's me, Don, and I'm here with Ebbs. Ebbs, what's going on? How are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. And that's not a joke. That is really an Australian accent that is going to be talking about hockey, something you don't hear every single day. It doesn't happen.
Non-existent.
No. Even though, I mean, it's interesting that we're doing this on the cusp of the NHL going to Melbourne next year. Well, actually this year in September.
Very excited.
I know you are, and there's a reason why. And it changed in your favor, to be honest.
It did.
Because originally it was supposed to be the LA Kings and one of my least favorite teams, the Boston Bruins, which I don't understand, going to Melbourne, or however you pronounce it. You yell at me all the time. Melbourne, I don't know.
No, you had it right the first time.
Oh, okay. And now, I mean, it's again, like I said, it's worked in your favor, and I'm sure you were very excited, and people that follow the show or follow you, I'm assuming know. Now it's the Arizona Coyotes that are going in place of the Boston Bruins.
Yay! Fuck the Bruins, bring on Coyotes!
So, I mean, I think it's hilarious how you became a Coyotes fan. So, a while back, I'm a jerk. So, I have a lot of hockey jerseys. And, you know, I tried to talk to her about hockey and get her into hockey. And I don't know, it wasn't working. So I sent a box of some stuff that I had laying around and whatever. And one of the things I sent her was a legit, like, not fake, not Chinese, like, not like, not bullshit. One of my favorite players ever to play the game was Jeremy Roenick. And a lot of people give me shit for it, but I don't really care. I love the way he played. I thought he was great in Chicago. I thought he was great in Arizona. And even though I'm a Ranger fan, I thought he was great in Philly. So fuck right off. But the jersey that I sent her was a 97 Roenick, but with the old Coyotes logo. And when she got it, there you go. So I'm kind of like my own worst enemy in that. I mean, she's a Rangers fan, but she also likes the Coyotes. So I kind of have to like sit here and hear about like, oh, the Coyotes are playing so good. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, right. So, unfortunately, they didn't make the playoffs. So
I was going to say, playing so good. I mean, you didn't hear that very often.
No. So, the reason for this is we talk about hockey a lot. I mean, I've sat and watched games. I've sat and watched games with you, Ranger games mostly. And we like to talk. So why not just bullshit through a hockey podcast, something that you're relatively new to,
Yes.
right? I mean, we'll start with the beginning of hockey season is what? October. So we'll say your hockeyversary, right, is October of 2022,
It
right?
is.
That's what we'll say that. But I mean, it's kind of taken you by storm in a way that is it's interesting.
It has completely taken over my life.
I mean,
For a
that's
sport
awesome.
I knew nothing other than fighting, I knew nothing about, I knew no players, I knew no teams. I now have a mini collection of jerseys and I follow it to the T.
She really does. She's got a lot of jerseys, and it's quite hilarious. She's like friends with mascots. Like I don't even know what's going. They like her posts. It's
Oh yeah,
really
I follow
fucking
all
weird.
the mascots, but my favorite one likes stuff, but he never actually responds, and it's kind of mean.
Well, I mean, he's a real piece of shit out there in Seattle,
I
isn't
mean, he is.
but he's got a good personality and he's kind of funny.
We are
But
talking
I
about
think
C-Boy, but yeah, it's a bit of
yeah. But I think it's hilarious. Like you don't get so, and I'm gonna get shit for saying this by you, and I'm sure someone else will pop in and be like, "Hey, there's not a lot of Aussie hockey fans." Like
I
don't think
didn't
it
even
registers.
know. Actually, no, that's a lie. Apparently, I knew one without knowing that I knew one, and that is it. It was never brought up. No one talks about it. I don't know anyone at my work. We all follow other sports, Australian and non-Australian, but hockey just never gets brought up. And I don't know why, because I feel like it is the culture around it would be very Australian.
I mean, it's like rugby on skates.
Exactly.
I mean, way faster with a way smaller object to put in a net. I mean, it's still hitting and I mean, I don't know. It's sort of like it, I guess. And you guys like soccer, and you guys like stuff like sorry, football for
Soccer
people that
has gotten really big here, and I'm still not too sure. Actually, no, I do know why, because we have a lot of Brits come over to Australia. That'd probably be why. But other sports, though, I mean, I've even heard people follow NFL here. I never hear anyone follow hockey.
gross.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyway, but like it's odd, and we've had this conversation. Like, I'll watch the Rangers here, and it'll be 7:00, and it'll be 9:00 for you.
Always on a
next
work
day.
day. Always on a damn work day.
But it's hysterical. Like and we've had this conversation where I tell you, like, yo, if I lived out there, I'd kill myself. Like, I don't know how I would manage. Like,
You'd literally have to have a night job.
yeah, I
or
wouldn't be able to
you
watch any games, and that would kill me.
Or you'd
That would
have to
kill me.
watch everything after, which is really hard to do. I hate doing it, especially as someone as prominent on Twitter like I am. It is very hard to watch a game after it's been played because everything is
You know
everywhere.
everything. Yeah, I mean it's hilarious though. Like I'll sit there and like we won't talk about your favorite basketball team, and this is a hockey podcast, so I don't know if people know why I'm bringing this up, but we're not going to talk about it. But we'll just say, this weekend your team played, and it was like 5:30 in the morning.
It was 5:30 in the morning, and
Yeah,
of
see,
course,
fuck
the
that.
one time that it was on at 5:30 in the morning is also the one time that they actually started on time. I know this is a hockey podcast, but this irritates the shit out of me. The NBA app needs to redo,
Oh man,
okay?
here we go. I fucking
Because
opened up a can of fucking
this
worms.
app is a piece of shit. None of it actually ever works, and it always says a game starts half an hour before it does because for whatever reason I need to know about the pregame. I don't need to know about the pregame. I don't care. I just want to know when it starts. So the one time I managed to sleep in for half an hour is the one time that I missed the entire first period because they decided to start on time.
It's a quarter.
Quarter, period, same thing. Okay?
No, it's not. There's 4 quarters.
It's a section of time.
Yeah, but a period is like hockey's a period.
Yeah, which is
It's
a section of time. It's a period of time. That's why it's called a period.
All right, we're not going to go there. But it's just funny to
the
me.
time difference sucks for any sport that's not Australian.
And
I used to
also,
follow
you
soccer,
guys,
and that was hell too.
And it's also like you guys are in a time warp because like we'll watch games together and I'll be like, oh, the Rangers scored. And you're like, I didn't see it. And then 30 seconds later, you're like, oh, yeah, they
It's
scored.
like no
I'm
matter
like, oh, this
what
is
app I
ridiculous.
use to watch it, whether it's ESPN or something online or something else, there is always a time difference, and it is infuriating.
The only time, it's actually funny, the only time we're on the same page is when I can't watch the game on ESPN here in the States and I have to stream it on like VIP box or whatever. 'Cause I don't have cable because fuck cable. And yeah, I'm going to, incriminate myself, but I have a jailbroken Fire Stick. So I can watch whatever I want. And so I'll put on VIP box and I'll throw the Ranger game on if they're playing on like TNT or like NHL Network. And that is when me and you are on the same page because we're probably watching the same fucking stream
It's just
at
strange
that
though,
point.
because you brought up ESPN, and technically one of the main streams I use is the ESPN, and there's still a time difference.
It's weird. It's that
I think
Australian
I
internet.
think
It's like the toilet.
yeah,
It's the,
our internet's real bad, but I think it's more so the adverts because for whatever reason they give us more ads here than there. So your ad break is over like 2 ads, where mine will have like 4. So it warps
you guys got, which is weird because we're American. We got to sell a lot of shit. You know how that goes.
a lot of
Especially
shit.
those Bud Light commercials. Especially those Bud Light commercials. But anyway,
Oh, we going there, are we?
no. But here's what I want to know before we jump in. Like, I know we did brackets, and I know we did. Obviously, this is just to talk about playoffs and stuff like that, and that was the whole point of starting this. But I kind of want to get like your feedback. This is your first full NHL season,
Yeah.
watching the Rangers and the Coyotes.
Yes.
One team's in the playoffs, one team's not. One team had a great season, well, sort of. The Rangers at the beginning weren't. Arizona kind of
Was hit and
fell
miss.
off,
Yeah.
obviously, and that was the end. And we'll get into that too. But like, what did you think? Like, being, and I hate to play this card because it's stupid. You're still a person watching a sport, but again, you're Australian. It doesn't happen. This is not. It's
No,
not
it's the whole new
normal.
world. Like,
You,
regardless of how you look at it, it's a new thing.
you jumping into it and being influenced, and now just like you're all in. Like, I think you're a bigger fan than some of the people here that say they are. So, like, how did you, how'd you feel about it? What did you think about it? Like, watching it and understanding the game, and like, did you feel you grasped it? Like, what was up?
Well, like I've told you before, like my dad watched clips when I was younger. So for me going into it, I was expecting nothing but fights. Because that's all I ever grew up watching were the fights, because that's what my dad was into. But
Fuck, I hate that much.
but well, look, honestly, as an outsider, that's all you know hockey for. Because we don't have it here and it's not played here and you're not watching it with like regardless of whether that's the case or not, what
I
it you're
get it.
known for on the outside is fighting. It's a bloody sport. It's what people know it for. But actually sitting down and watching the odd times I could watch it, full games and from start to end, I don't know what it is, but something clicked. Something just I really grasped everything. The culture, the teams. I mean, like you said, like I'm a Rangers fan. I also enjoy the Coyotes, but I'm also picking up on players and players' names from other teams as well, which I barely even did that for my own sports. Like I grew up watching Australian rules football here, and I was a big NRL supporter, rugby supporter for the past few years. But I still didn't pay attention to teams that weren't my own. Something to do with hockey, I've just really jumped down that rabbit hole, and I've loved every minute of it. Yes, the time difference fucking sucks,
I
but
can imagine.
watching the games that I have been able to watch have been really immersive. I think that's the biggest thing with hockey is I find it very immersive. I feel like even though I'm watching it on a screen, I can feel like I'm surrounded by the fans, or I feel like even the commentators, for the most part, they bring you into it, and I don't find that with a lot of other sports. Like as you said before, I also follow NBA, and I currently still follow NBA. They're the only two sports I actually follow currently now is NBA and hockey, and I love NBA and I love watching it, but I don't find it as immersive as I do with the hockey.
We won't get into to bashing other sports, but I get what you're saying. No, I mean it's funny. Like I've been watching hockey and playing hockey since I'm like 3-4 years old. I mean, I don't play anymore. Health issues and whatever, I can't play. But I mean, I've been watching, playing, studying, learning ever since I was young. And to watch the game evolve to what it is like today, like fuck, I was born in '83, so I started watching hockey in the '80s. That shit was so fucking different than what it is today. It's not even funny. Like it flies. You got these guys that are on the ice now that I don't understand how they do the shit that they do. There's stuff like when I was 18, 19, even playing in high school, that I wouldn't even imagine doing what these guys do, and it's crazy. So it's also great to be able to like have you enjoy it and like get on board. I love introducing people to hockey because I feel like, and this is going to be a strong point here, but I feel like it's one of the best sports to watch, whether it be live or in person. And I think it's one of the best sports, period. I'm a diehard baseball fan, but fucking hell, sometimes you watch a game on TV and it's like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, I'm bored. And it pains me to say that, but I've never sat and watched a hockey game. And there are probably people that are be like, oh, this game's boring. It's a 0-0 tie in the third period. But because I've played it and I understand what's going on benches and what's going on in players' heads, in a 0-0 game, that's probably one of the most exciting things to be a part of. Because you have to understand, like, if you have two good teams that are going at it and it's 0-0, like, it's a mind game at that point. And it's a lot of fun. And I love that. So the fact that, like, you're now a fan because like I like sent you a jersey is fucking phenomenal. Like I'm
The inner
so
child
thankful
in
for
me saw the coyote and was like, "You have to follow this team." The coyote,
yeah, I mean, like
you gotta follow.
some of the shit you say about hockey like fucking makes me laugh, like that, or like, hey, the Rangers need a mascot. Like, no, we don't.
Okay,
But
yes,
okay,
yes,
like
we do. Okay, you've just brought it up. Why on earth would you have an entire league that has mascots except for one team? It doesn't make any sense.
because
They're a huge team. They should have a mascot. Do you know the amount of shit talk you could have between mascots if the Rangers had a mascot? If there's anything like half of their fan base,
oh,
the
don't get me
mascot would
started.
be huge. Like, are you kidding me? We need a mascot. Okay. If for whatever reason someone out there in the universe is listening and they're like, you know what, she's right, we need a mascot, I am volunteering. Come hire me. I will be your mascot and I will be your social media presence because God knows you need it.
Yeah, the Rangers' social media presence, unlike other teams, is really fucking stale.
It's really poor.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, like we're great on the ice. I love the team, but our social media presence and our like all
There's
that shit,
nothing there.
fucking garbage. It's so
Nothing
bad.
there. Like, they do not
Yeah.
interact with. That's the thing. What I find the best part about the mascots is they interact with the fans. So it's almost like the team is interacting with the fans. The Rangers don't do that. They don't have that presence. So not only do they not have the mascot, but the team, it's like not the team itself, but the social media team itself doesn't give a shit.
No,
All they
not
care
at all.
about is posting the scores. And I'm like, I get that, but in this day and age, you need that social media presence.
Yeah, no, it's kind of shitty. Their social media presence is kind of shit. Like,
It is
I sit
poor.
here and I watch Like even the Coyotes, some of the shit that they do, like they're terrible. But like at least like when they win, it's funny what they post. Like it's like you just
These
lost.
are the best.
It's like how did you just lose to us?
Well, that's the thing. Like, they take the piss out of themselves. They're like, "Yeah, you guys just lost to us of all people." Like, come
Yeah.
on, which is a little heartbreaking because I feel like with the way the team, which I know we're going to probably get into eventually anyway, not necessarily in this episode, but the way the team was headed towards the end, like they've got a real chance over the next year or two. They've got a real fighting chance. So it really hurts when you watch them and they're like, "Haha, you lost to us of all people," and I'm like. Ugh!
Yeah,
Stop putting yourself
yeah,
down.
yeah. It's fun to watch. I honestly I don't care if they don't have a mascot, honestly, but at least their social media presence needs to be. I mean, it's quite shit. Like I don't like it,
Just
but
get
we
a
try to be.
mascot.
Football. If you look at a lot of the original 6 teams that are out there, all of their social media presence is like that. It's very like straight and to the point, and
Mm,
like this is what we're doing, and like it or not, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like that's kind of what it is. And newer teams, I'm not going to say the Arizona Coyotes are new, but like teams like that and that have mascots and like do fun shit. Yeah, I mean, I get that. Like, look at the Flyers. Look at Gritty. That guy's a real piece of
Oh,
shit.
that guy's the best. See, how can you not follow mascots when there's that guy exists?
Uh-huh.
He's
I
going
just think
around
it's funny. Like,
twerking. He's got the DVD, like going around with the DVD sign that used to be on the TV when you'd have the, what was it, screensaver. The dude is awesome. He's so funny.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I get that. And going back to when you first got into hockey, one of the first things I did for you
Uh
for this was you were like, I need all the Twitter handles of every mascot in the NHL. And you want to laugh. So the other day, and don't ask, maybe this is a telltale sign of what my room looks like, but I was going through paperwork in my drawer and I found the piece of paper that has all the mascot handles that I wrote down
You
to give to you like an asshole. Like I have nothing else better to do with my life
I
than
thought
to
you were just
fucking.
sending me links. I didn't realize you were writing them
I wrote them down because I'm old school. Well, I'm old. I'm gonna be 40. I'm
down.
ancient.
Shut up.
I should have put it on. I should have did it with like a fucking on a stone with a nail.
A quill.
No, but yeah, it's just something. No, but yeah, I found the list and I was like, oh shit, look at that, and I promptly threw it out because I was like, she knows them all now. They're best friends. So
Friends.
yeah, you are. But I
I
mean,
think C-Boy's annoyed with me because I keep tagging him in shit.
you keep fucking around. That guy is gonna be like, this Australian chick is fucking weird, man.
Ever since I had the jersey with his name on it, just a bit of reference, I have a jersey, a Seattle jersey that has C-Boy on the back of it with the number 69 that I think is hilarious because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, and he promptly was like, oh, you
I
probably could add any other number.
He was like it, and I'm like, oh, come on, dude, at least retweet. Like, come on.
No,
He's so
he was.
me.
That's kind of sickening that you want a 69 with a troll. I don't know. Like,
he's like, I may be furry, but I'm not a furry.
yeah, Jesus. No, but I think it's great. Like, honestly, I mean, yeah, I've been a fan again, like I said, my whole life, and being able to get you involved in this, and yeah, it's took a weird fucking turn where it's like, did you see what this mascot did? Like, that's not what I'm paying attention to.
Well,
So,
there's
like,
that, and there's also, hey, look, it's Suits, and they're walking in, and I'm just sending you pictures of them in their suits, and you're like, I don't give a shit. And I'm like, I know you don't give a shit, but I give a shit.
yeah, I'm also a man. Like, I'm not looking at. Do I think Keandre Miller looks good in a suit? Yeah, because his suits are kind of fire. But
That's
I'm not
why
like.
I send them to. I
posting-
send them to you to rate the suit, not the fact that they're good looking in the suits.
Sure. So yeah, I mean, I would tell Howler to be careful, especially that's the mascot for Arizona. Especially he's coming to Melbourne. You're going to tackle him and his head's going to pop off.
I've already told him I'm getting a photo with him. He liked it.
All right. Well, you better show him the post and be like, do you remember
I
me?
swear to God, I'm not 30. I'm actually 12. I don't care about photos with masks.
It's so fucking hilarious. But no, I mean, honestly, it's a lot of fun. Like, I've seen how I say this like you're my child. Like, you've grown in your hockey fandom, like, and it's fun to like have conversations. Like, we'll flat out have conversations about like hockey, and it's like, what the fuck? We're talking hockey for 30 minutes. And it's like, and it's fun. It's like normal. So, I mean, I think it's great, but I was really curious to see like what you thought. And now it's your first playoff.
That I'm
which is
excited for.
It's a whole other ball game. Just so you're aware, it's not like watching a game between the Rangers and the fucking Ottawa Senators.
It's going
Like,
to be
it's gonna
really
be.
hard to have this playing while I'm working. Like, I have to work around this somehow.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
I don't
Like
know.
the first game for the Rangers is Tuesday. Your Wednesday at like 9:00 in the morning.
I know. I'm gonna have to have it on in the background or something. Like, I have to have it playing. I can't miss the playoff games. Are you serious? I don't know what
Like,
I'm
I'm not
gonna
gonna.
do.
We're gonna have to figure this out for you because, and that's what sucks. Like, it's funny because the Rangers' first game is Tuesday, right?
Yes.
At 7, I believe.
Yes.
And for her, it's Wednesday at 9 a.m.
Yeah, I'm fairly
It's
certain
so
you're right. I'm fairly certain it's 9, and it just sucks because it's like it's always peak times for work. Yeah, it is. It's 9. Oh, wait, where's that?
Is it?
Yeah, it is 9 o'clock. And it's just
Yeah.
like it's always peak times. It's always just as I'm starting work, or it's just before lunchtime, which would make sense, like for it to be better. But then I get so involved and into it on my lunch break that by the time the lunch break finishes, I've still got half a game to watch. And I don't want to
Yeah.
go back to my desk. So
Well, I
it's
mean,
really hard.
the good thing is, you can pop it on somewhere and just put it on mute and pay attention at some point in time.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure it out because it's hard.
Well, we'll
There is a
figure it
game
out.
on
But
a Sunday for Rangers though, so that works out. There's my Sunday game, but the rest of all
my Saturday,
weekends, it sucks.
I just think it's fucking hilarious that every time we watch a game, it's a different day for you. It's just like completely different. Like,
I'm surprised
the
I've
game's on
managed to get
Saturday.
into this as much as I have, considering I haven't been able to watch a lot of games.
You know what? Like I said, I have to thank the mascots. I feel we have to go back to that because they like hooked you in, and now you're
They did. Even the mascots here for our sports are hopeless. They don't give a shit about anything. Something about the mascots it just talks to my inner child.
Are they like real animals? The mascots in Australia,
It's a mix of everything. So, like, as an
like a giant
example,
kangaroo hopping around.
well, yeah, there is actually.
Shut the fuck up!
There's,
No,
yeah, because we have North Melbourne Australian football is kangaroos.
So they fucking it just hops around the stadium.
Not an actual kangaroo. There's
That's what I asked you.
a
That's
person
why
in
I
a
said.
kangaroo costume.
Oh, that's bullshit. I was like, there's some fucking guy riding the back of a kangaroo.
Literal kangaroo jumping around. Next,
Listen,
you're going to ask
okay?
me if I ride a kangaroo to work. No.
There's a lot of shit that goes on over there, right? I don't know.
Apparently so. You guys tend to know more than I do.
I mean, it wouldn't shock me. Let's just say that if like one of your mascots for like NRL or like AFL was like an actual kangaroo. Like, we have actual animals here, but not for the 4 major sports. Like, for college, like University of Colorado has an actual fucking buffalo that runs across the field.
You would.
An actual buffalo. So, I mean, I wouldn't put it past you
No,
guys
we don't.
to have, like, some giant tarantula, like, come out on the fuck. I don't know what goes on.
The kangaroo would ruin the field.
See, I don't even know. I told you I wanted to punch a kangaroo once, and you're like, no, you don't.
Yeah, because they're huge.
That's all right. It's fine.
Yeah, okay.
It'd be a good way to go. It'd be a good way to go out. How did Don die?
Here lays Don killed by kangaroo.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
So going into the playoffs now. Playoffs start tomorrow.
Yes,
right.
talking about the actual thing this podcast is meant to be about.
Yeah, you listen. By no means should anyone listen to this fucking podcast if they expect to fucking know anything
Too
about
serious
like
conversation.
true hockey. Yeah, there's no. I mean, I'll talk about it outside the podcast, but there ain't no way you're gonna learn much listening to this podcast about hockey. I'll tell you that now.
No, you might learn a bit because I'm going to learn a bit, but you can all learn with me. It's okay.
Yeah, but
yes, going back to the playoffs.
Going into the playoffs, we decided why not do brackets, right?
Yes.
Because we need to make this a competition, even though we're both Ranger fans.
But it's still different anyway, which is funny.
Yeah, our brackets are different, and I don't like it. But
what do you mean you don't like it?
Because I don't like who you have winning. That's why. It's always got to be that fucking team from north of New York that I don't like. It sucks. You suck at your basketball picks.
I picked well for basketball. Look how freaking well we're going.
Oh, listen. No one cares about Boston.
Cares.
Nobody cares.
Everyone cares. It's Milwaukee Bucks and Boston. No one gives a shit about anything else. No one gives a shit about the Knicks. Okay? Just because.
Neither do I.
No one cares.
I don't care.
Yeah. Okay.
I just like to rub it in your face every once in a while.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, back to hockey, which is what this is supposed to be about.
Hey, there should be a disclaimer at the beginning of this show. If you hope to learn much. So
the official non-hockey podcast.
Yeah. There's nothing official about this podcast whatsoever. But yes, so we did brackets, and that's the whole reason why we started this. Is we kind of wanted to just have discussions.
Yes.
Around the playoffs and the matchups and everything that's going on. So I'll start with the Eastern Conference. So you have, in my opinion, the matchups in the East are kind of fun. So you have Boston, Florida. So that's the 1-8. Then you have Toronto, Tampa, who was, it's funny, that matchup in the playoffs has been set for like 2 fucking months because Boston just ran away with everything. And which we'll get to that Tampa-Toronto matchup because I have a lot to say about that. Mm-hmm. Then you have the Rangers and Devils, which is going to be a great matchup. And then you have the Islanders and Carolina, which I could care less about any. So then in the West, I mean, the Western Conference all year was just a complete shit show. I thought the Western Conference was weak. If you looked at the standings, like the Rangers would have been like I would say the number 2 team in the West if they were on the West, which would make no sense, but I'm just saying. So you have Colorado, Seattle. We all know who Ebbs wants to win that one. Dallas and Minnesota, which is actually quite funny, and I'm sure we'll get into that. Vegas and Winnipeg, and Edmonton and LA. All these series could go either way. I'm going to go ahead and look at this bracket of mine. So I'll go over my bracket first because I'll be the shooter. Okay. And I'll just go over my bracket. Yes. Oh, just so you know, I am not the Hooters in this thing. Yes, I have a dad bod, but that don't mean anything. Let's not get it twisted. Depends on the day, really. Depends how I feel.
I'm definitely not the shooter.
I mean, you live in Australia. Who the fuck knows? I don't know.
Oh. Going back to your
Anyway.
bracket.
Going back to the bracket. See, I told you ain't gonna learn shit. So I was hoping this would happen, and I hope it wouldn't have been the Islanders that got to play Boston, because I feel like they didn't have a chance in hell, and they weren't matched up right. But I feel Florida, the way they're playing lately and all that, there's the best chance in the East for them to get Boston out of the playoffs, period.
Ooh.
So I had Florida winning in 7 in that series. Poor Toronto. All these Toronto fans are going to hate me, but I have them and the drought continuing, where they haven't won a fucking playoff series in a long time, since I was in high school. They haven't won shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I have them winning that series in 6. This pick made me want to vomit, but this is what I'm hoping, is I have the Islanders winning in 6. Ugh.
Is that purely because you want them to play Rangers, though, or do you actually think they're going to win?
No, so I looked at the 2 top teams, the top team in the Atlantic, which is Boston,
Mm-hmm.
and the top team in the Metro, which is Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
The matchups across the board. So I looked at the 2 wild card teams,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel that those matchups, Florida and Boston, and the Islanders and Carolina, give the best shot for the Rangers to stay clear of Carolina and Boston.
Okay.
So I played that smart, in my opinion,
Yeah.
and in my brain, which means absolutely fucking nothing. But I feel the Rangers, I feel they're going to win that series against the Devils, but it's going to go 7 games, which doesn't bother me as much as if they were playing a team like Toronto or Tampa or Florida or somewhere where they had to travel to.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, I mean, Newark is across the river, okay? All these guys on the Rangers live on Manhattan, live on the island. They can stay in their houses. They can practice in their own practice facility. They don't have to travel far. So every game is a home game.
Yeah.
It's not like they're traveling. So I'd rather them do that. And the Rangers just have a thing. If you look at the playoff history, they love going 7 games and making the NHL a lot of money. So every series last year in the playoffs, except the Tampa one, went 7 games.
Okay.
So they love that. And then, I mean, I have the Rangers beating the Islanders in the quarters. I have, in the semis, whatever you want to fucking call it. And then I have the Battle of Florida going to Florida. And then I have the Rangers beating Florida in the Eastern Conference, going to the finals. And yeah, everyone's going to call me a homer.
Ugh.
But here's the thing. I feel a lot of people are picking the Rangers based on the additions that they made at the trade deadline with Tarasenko and Kane and all that. And just the team itself just looks really good when they want it. But the thing with the Rangers is they'll play 2 amazing games. Like, you'll be like, oh, they're back, they're awesome. And then the one game, they'll lose like 6-0 and take a complete shit. And it's like, what is this team? And it's really weird. So I'll let you go ahead and do your Eastern Conference.
Okay. So, for anyone listening, there's no way in hell I'm ever picking Florida for anything. Ever. Because it's so
Oh, this
stupid.
is a good story.
So, purely because their team are the Panthers. Now, in the absolute unknown odd mix that another Australian is actually listening to this, or anyone else that follows rugby, Penrith Panthers, I loathe so much. So because of that, it has gone over into every other sport. So for some stupid reason in my brain, I go, well, they're named Panthers. I'm not going for them. So
Well,
that's that. And honestly, I would have picked Boston anyway. But Boston, yeah, I know. But so Boston for the Boston, Florida. Then I've got Toronto to win.
Look at you. You're going to be friends with everyone in Toronto after that pick.
For Toronto, Tampa Bay, I got Toronto. I picked Carolina, and obviously I picked Rangers. Like, I'm not going to go against the Rangers for that. I also don't think we would lose anyway. But yes, Carolina against the Islanders and Rangers against New Jersey. Am I
Okay.
picking the amount of the amount of games as well? You
I
said yes,
said it.
didn't you? Yeah. So I've got, honestly, what I've got down on my bracket is whatever the app would allow me to choose. Because I kept tapping the screen and the bloody thing wouldn't save. So I've
The
got,
bloody.
it was so frustrating. I don't know what it was. Like, it would allow me to pick certain numbers over others. And then it would refresh and then wouldn't save anything. And I had to do the whole thing like 3 times. But I've
Thanks,
got
NHL.
still not as bad as the NBA app. I've got
No.
Boston in 5, Toronto in 4, which I think would probably go up to 5, to be honest. Carolina in 6, and Rangers in 5.
I don't know about that Rangers one.
Yeah, honestly, with the I'm going to be brutally honest here. Like, I actually had no idea what to put as any of those. This
You didn't know.
the whole structure of this is really confusing to me. Like, I don't understand why there's 7
Well,
games
you
for
didn't
each
know.
thing.
You
It's
didn't know
odd.
they were all best of 7.
No, that's what I was just saying. Because there's no like, the sports here don't do that. It's strange to me that it's a best of,
Why?
because it's just not what I'm used to. Usually
Well,
it's just you go into it and whoever wins that game is the winner of that game and you move on to the next. It's not a
no,
best of.
not.
So this is a
Well,
whole
wait a minute.
new thing for me.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You were following the NBA before you were following the
Not by
NHL.
much. Not by much. It was only a couple of months.
Okay.
I haven't been following the NBA for years or anything. AFL and NRL I've followed for years, but not NBA and not NHL.
Well, I mean, it would make sense, I guess. So you have that. So
Mm-hmm.
who do you have in the next rounds then?
I've got Boston to win against Toronto and Rangers to win against Carolina.
Yeah, this is the one that pissed me off. Go ahead.
You didn't do your last one.
Oh, I did. I said I had the Rangers over Florida to go to the finals.
Oh, did you? I didn't even. I've got
Yeah.
Boston and Rangers, but I've got Boston to win.
Yeah. Okay.
Suck.
Boston over the radio. If that happens, I'm never talking to you again.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be my fault and my fault alone. Honestly, you really want to know the reason why I picked them over Rangers?
Why?
It's exactly what you said before. They will have a couple of games where they're fantastic and then they come crashing down. They've done it all year. They're going to get to the end and it's going to fucking bite them in the ass. They're going to think they've got it. They won't have it. They'll lose. Boston will move forward.
Ugh. God, just the thought of that. So before I vomit, I'm going to move on to the Western Conference because
Okay.
I'm not even going to go. So I have an underdog here, and I have a sleeper that I feel is going to go, and I have my reason for it, and we'll say it at the end here.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a lot of people are not going to like this pick, or they're going to be like, "You're full of shit." So, the matchups are kind of fun here, but in the Colorado-Seattle series, I have Seattle winning in 6. Yeah, you love that. And then the Dallas-Minnesota series, I love this series because, and every NHL fan that's been a fan for a while knows, like, the Dallas Stars only originated because the Minnesota North Stars left, went to Dallas. Now Minnesota has a team, so this playoff matchup is kind of fun, and I like it. But I got Dallas going and winning in 6, and I got Vegas and Winnipeg. Winnipeg was up and down all year. They made it into a wild card spot at the beginning of the year, the Christmas break, really, and even I believe at the All-Star break, they were like in first place for a very long time, and they took a huge dip. To me, I feel the factor in this series is going to be Connor Hellebuck, the goalie for Winnipeg. If they are going to win the series, it's going to all fall on him. But I have Vegas winning in 5, and Edmonton, LA. LA was a surprise all year. It's been kind of fun to watch. Sad that they let Quick go, but what are you going to do? I got Edmonton winning in 6 because of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, 2 best players in the league, play in the same team. Like, it's insane. Then in my next matchup, I have Seattle beating Dallas.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and then I have Winnipeg. Edmonton beating Vegas. So here's my reasoning behind it. So I feel the league just wants Seattle to do really well, and I have this conspiracy theory in my mind that's like they're going to push him all the way to the conference finals. I don't think they'll get by. So I have Edmonton beating Vegas. So I have Seattle, Edmonton in the conference finals. I don't feel that they're going to get by Edmonton, but who knows? Last year, Edmonton was good. They took a shit. So we'll see. They go how Connor McDavid goes and Leon Draisaitl goes. And I still feel their goaltending is kind of sus. So it just depends. But I don't know. I feel that series could go either way. Do I think they make Seattle go to the Stanley Cup Finals? I seriously feel like they would. But I just don't know. And now getting the news, even that first series against Colorado, and I know it doesn't matter because Colorado still got Rantanen, and they still got McKinnon and all these guys. But Gabriel Landeskog is out for that series. He's out for the year. So they're losing a huge player, and it just feels like they're setting the stage for Seattle to just go. And I don't know. I just feel it. But yeah, I have Edmonton and the Rangers in the finals.
Interesting.
And I of course have the Rangers winning. And
Of course.
and everyone's gonna be like, you're going with your heart instead of your brain and all this stuff. And
Which you are.
At the end of the day, I feel like that's bullshit because I still feel that there are people that aren't Ranger fans that are picking that because the Rangers are a good team. It's not like I'm picking a team that shouldn't be there. Like if I was a fucking Minnesota Wild fan and I was like, they're going to the finals, like, yeah, okay, get the fuck over it real quick. Like, it's not happening this year, buddy. Sorry, but this is different. So I don't know. I have the Rangers beating Edmonton. Hate me all you want, but whatever. What do you got on the West?
So I've got Seattle, obviously. But in saying that, I actually quite like the team anyway. So take out the bullshit with Seaboy and the fact that I absolutely adore the team colors and I think they have the best jerseys across the board. I quite like the team anyway, and I think Seattle has it anyway. So I've got Seattle in 5 against Colorado.
Oh boy. Okay.
I've got Dallas Salad, which you guys are going to hear me say a lot. If you want to know why, go to YouTube. Search Hank of the Hill, not King of the Hill. Hank of the Hill YouTube poop. You'll thank me later. I've got Dallas winning in 4. Yeah, you did. You quite.
Oh wow, you have a sweep. That's the sweep that you have. Wow.
Yep. I've got Vegas winning in 5, which I think was the same as you.
Yeah, it was. Look at that.
I've got LA winning in 6 rather than Edmonton.
Wow. That would be fucking hilarious.
Now, my heart wants Seattle to win, but I
But
feel
your
like
YouTube
Dallas might just have it. So I've got
your
Dallas.
YouTube history, your YouTube history wants Dallas to win.
No, my heart wants Dallas. My YouTube history wants Dallas to win. Yes.
Yeah,
Um, I would love for Seattle to win, but I think Dallas has it regardless. And I also have Vegas over LA. And then I've got Vegas and Dallas, with Vegas getting to the end, but Boston winning.
Ugh.
I know.
And I'm sure we'll revisit this often,
Oh, absolutely.
and it'll be interesting. So, I mean, how we're gonna do this, and for those of you actually listening, it's gonna be done. The show will come out every Monday at 9 a.m. and we'll just go over. So, like, by next week when it comes out, there'll be like 3-4 games in each series that'll be done.
Yeah.
So there could be some sweeps. There could be some good series. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm excited to keep talking about it. I'm excited for you to go through your first playoff. And I feel like you watching playoff hockey is going to only elevate your like love and newfound love for hockey, because it's not like watching a regular season game at all.
I'm so excited. So
It's
excited.
really not. It's really not, and anyone will tell you that.
Mm.
But so yeah, I mean, I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna close out the show because I want to close it on a good note.
Yes.
Even though the last thing you said was have Boston win was
With trash in your mind.
not really a good note, but yeah, that's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, I know all we have right now is a Twitter, and I think that's all we're gonna keep. And that's
Yeah.
I believe the Twitter handle is, and this is all new. I believe it's at Shooter Hooters. Please don't confuse this podcast with a porn account, because it's
we
not.
swear we're not porn.
But I feel like it could be if it's typed incorrectly.
Shooter Hooters, one word.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like a fucking Brazzers website. Are you fucking kidding
Who's
me?
shooting on the Hooters?
Yeah, like it sounds like a Brazzers website. Jesus Christ.
It's so hard to get another name, but everything was taken.
Jesus. I'm shocked that wasn't taken at all.
So am I.
That's fucking.
It was meant to be.
Jesus. Maybe someone will pay us for the rights to use that Twitter handle.
Just live off the money from that.
Hey, I'll take it. It's fine. I have to work. But yeah, definitely check us out. I know heck, I'll just be quite honest with you. I don't run the social media. The Hooters end runs the social media. I can't do that shit. I suck at it. So she's the best at it. But yeah, definitely follow us at Shooter Hooters. So weird to say that. And yeah, we'll see you guys back next Monday
In a week.
at 9 a.m. Yeah, in a week. See ya.
Bye.
Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game.